Hello and welcome to MBA 525, Management Information Systems. I'm Mike Menti and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. MIS is a very broad and interesting topic. We're going to cover a lot of things and it's going to be fast-paced and we're going to throw a lot of potentially new topics at you. We're going to be going over business concepts, marketing concepts, databases, IT and computer information stuff. This is such a great course because it's going to set you up as a future manager, or if you're in a management position already, because it's so important that managers understand a little bit of everything. You really need to be a jack of all trades. I don't expect you as a manager to fully understand IT concepts. You don't need to fully understand marketing or finance, but you need to be able to speak intelligently with those subject matter experts, with your IT department, with your finance department, because you're going to have meetings and you're going to be involved in decisions that can be potentially costly or devastating for the company if they go the wrong way. And you're going to hear me say this a lot in our topics and in our video discussions, nothing can derail a meeting quicker than stopping and trying to define things for management, or specifically at the VP level. That's just a meeting killer. It gets everybody off topic. Page 3 has my instructor information and contact info. Feel free to email me whenever you need. I'm not a traditional instructor. I'm an adjunct. I don't even live in Pennsylvania anymore. I live up in New Hampshire. So that being said, I don't keep traditional office hours. However, I do have a personal rule to respond to your email within 24 hours. I usually have my St. Francis email up all the time at work. I do get notifications on my phone, so I will respond to you as soon as I can. If it is something urgent or, hey, maybe you just really need some assistance, feel free to text me. That is my personal cell phone on there. If you do text me, just open the text with your name and what class you're in. I am teaching an undergrad class as well, so that kind of gets me on track on what topic we're discussing. If you need any accommodations during this class, please reach out to Miss April Fry. Her number and email are listed. Her and I will work with you to make sure we set you up for success with whatever you need to accommodate anything that you may have going on. I do have my MBA from St. Francis, and I'm not just saying this because I'm teaching in the MBA program or you're a student in the MBA program. It is an excellent, excellent program. This is really going to help jumpstart your career, maybe set you up for a career move, or just give you better knowledge for the business world. I really take my hat off to anybody who is pursuing their MBA. It's no easy task. This potentially can be life-changing for you. When I'm not instructing for the school, I am a program manager for a government contractor. I am tasked with our quality assurance program. I do all of our ISO 9000 auditing. Our primary customer is the U.S. Navy, specifically the submarine force. So I make sure that whatever service we are providing to them at the time upholds the highest standards of quality to get our sailors back home safe. I'm also a Navy reservist supporting tactical submarine operations. Before all this, I was an active duty submariner. My last boat was the USS Pittsburgh, based out of Groton, Connecticut. I'm originally from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Like I said, I did my MBA at St. Francis. I also did my undergrad at St. Francis. So the school definitely holds a place in my heart. I value the education I got from the university. I value Franciscan educational values. There's a reason we go here to St. Francis. It really does set you up for success down the road. I want you to pay particular attention to the bottom of this page. If you don't have the textbook already, I can't stress this enough. You need it. We're using MIS 10th edition. The ISBN is down there. If you do not currently have a physical copy of the text, or if you don't anticipate getting a physical copy of the text before the start of the class, I do have a link on the Canvas page where you can rent a digital copy. We rely heavily on this book. Your assignments are going to come from this book. You need to read the chapters to understand it, to pass the tests. In my opinion, this is one of the best MIS books on the market. It is brand new. You see the copyright year is 2021. We are probably one of the first classes to use this book, and it is awesome. I really enjoy this book, and I think you're going to enjoy it as well. But as I said, you do need this book to be successful in this class. There are no face-to-face meetings in this online environment that we're in. However, if you want some extra one-on-one to go over some topics, please reach out to me. We can accommodate that. Maybe we'll even open it up to the rest of the class. We do run from Monday through Sunday through all of our weeks. So all your assignments are due Sunday at midnight. Late assignments are not accepted without prior approval. Just please reach out to me. If something comes up, I'm going to be accommodating with you, but you need to let me know ahead of time, and I will work with you. If you miss the deadline or you don't let me know, it will be a 0. Those of you working out in businesses, in corporations, you know how important deadlines are. If you imagine the whole class being one large Gantt chart, if I need to move something, we can, but that's going to domino down the line. So I need to make sure everything lines up before we do that. So big takeaway, if something comes up in your life, just let me know. Text me, email me. I will be more than happy to work with you, but you need to let me know ahead of time. Each week is going to involve going over readings, going over PowerPoints. I will have some videos. Not every PowerPoint's going to have a video. The video is really just me talking over select slides of the PowerPoint. I do not go over every slide. I go over the large topics. I think sometimes I go a little off topic to try to make this a little more exciting and not a death by PowerPoint situation. We do have weekly discussions. I put a lot of emphasis on discussion because that makes up for not being in class and doing in-class discussion. I want your responses to be pretty substantial, 350 to 500 words. Feel free to go more if you want to. Feel free to include references in your discussions, not required, but really great. I want your discussion posts and the whole discussion environment just to be a really welcoming room for good debate. You do have to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Feel free to respond to more, but I don't want you to say, oh, I agree with this, or really great insight, Jim. I want you to have deep discussion with them. Call out points in their original discussion. If you agree with them, tell us why you agree with them. If you disagree with us, that's fine. Tell us why. Again, throw in sources if you need to back up some of your information. I want this to be interesting and fun for everybody. Sometimes I will chime in. I monitor all the discussion posts. I may or may not chime into a discussion thread. If it's something really exciting and I want in on the action, I'll comment a little bit, maybe to steer the conversation, or you might be missing something obvious, the white elephant in the room, and I'll kind of throw that in there. Whether I comment on a discussion thread or don't comment on a discussion thread, that is not me acknowledging that this one is better than another one, or one discussion thread isn't worthy of acknowledgement. My interaction does not go into the final grade in the discussion, so please don't take that as I did good, or I need to do better next time. I want to draw your attention down to the blue arrow you see. You are going to have some weekly exercises. Typically, these are going to be turning in a Word document. I do want specific formatting for that Word document. Most notably, the file will be saved. So you're going to save your file as your last name, week 1, weekly exercise, or whatever the name of that is, week 2, MIS final paper. And I also want you to use a header. First name, last name, MBA 525, my name, whatever assignment this is, week 1, weekly exercise, MIS final, and the date you turn it in. I do expect this to be in the top left-hand margin of your paper. The reason I say this is an MIS class. We talk a lot about databases. Databases function on proper formatting of information. If the dates in our database need to be month, day, year, and you mix any one of those variables up, at the very least, you're giving us bad data, and that data will probably be useless. Worst case scenario, you have crashed our database because you're inputting it a formatting that it can't understand. Depending on how robust the database or what it's written in, the database may crash. Those of you working out in corporate that have quality management systems or are working with databases, I'm sure you have forms and documentation that need to be formatted correctly. In my ISO program that I administer, if you turn in a form and it's not formatted correctly, that form doesn't exist. It will not exist until the formatting is correct. So I really want to make sure we get into the habit of following given guidelines. You do have a final quiz and a final research paper. This is a graduate level course, so I expect graduate level work in this research paper. At the bare minimum, I want it to be 5 to 10 pages. When we go over the Canvas site, which we're going to do at the end of the syllabus, we'll go over the topic and pre-approval that needs to be done for this. But this is a graduate level course. I expect really, really quality papers from you. Make sure your formatting's correct, make sure your grammar's correct, run it through spell check. Just make sure that it's a good paper turned in. As always, cite your sources. Make sure you give credit where credit is due. The last thing we're going to talk about on the syllabus is academic honesty. Like I just said with your final research paper, make sure you cite your sources. It is incredibly important you give credit. The work you turn in needs to be your own work. If you source something, whether it's an image, a diagram, an excerpt from an article, let us know who it comes from. This is incredibly important for not only St. Francis, the School of Business, but this is the whole reason we go to St. Francis and not some other school. We have, Franciscan values of education. We pay what we pay to go here because at St. Francis you're held to a higher standard. I want this quality of work to be reflected in what you turn into me, but also that's going to resonate out in what you turn into your future employers. You're going, at some point in time, you're going to have to write a white paper for management, maybe just do a research paper on some sales figures. All of these are important documents. They need to be researched properly. They need to be done in a pseudo-academic fashion, and we need to source all of the information and make sure we give credit. So this is your MBA 525 homepage. Down at the bottom, we have our syllabus in its entirety. Please read over this. If you have any questions, ask. Keep this as a reference document. So we're going to click on Start Here. This will take you to your Start Here page. You're watching the video that you will find a link right here. Like I said before, you do need to book. You can get it from the bookstore or you can rent it at this link. This takes you to vitalsource.com. Here is our text. You can rent it for 120 days up to a lifetime. The price increases for as long as you need. It is in PDF. In the past, I've had students rent PDFs from VitalSource before, not for this particular version of the book, but for other texts, and I've never heard of any issues with them or their service. Again, I have another link for the syllabus here. I do want you to introduce yourself. We do have a bio profile discussion. This is not graded, but I do want you to just post about yourself, name, major, some interesting facts. You don't have to respond to other students in this particular discussion board, but it would be nice just to create a sense of community. After that, you will proceed on to week 1. Keep in mind, week 1 does end on the 23rd. This is a typical format that you will see for our weeks. We cover typically 2 modules. I have a brief little summary of what each module is. You may or may not have a video for one or both of the modules. Read over the text and review the PowerPoints. Like I said before, the videos cover the PowerPoints, but they do not cover slide by slide. I really want to avoid death by PowerPoint. And then typically for each week, you will have a discussion topic, a weekly exercise, and a quiz for the modules. Like I said, we do have a final research paper. I want you to write a substantial paper on an information system or technology of your choosing. Now, this probably sounds like an incredibly broad topic, and it is deliberately. I want you to pick something that could be an IoT, Internet of Things device, maybe a smart device, and then combine that with information from the book. Maybe we want to talk about the OSI layers for a Roku. These are our hardware layers. This is our software. This is the user experience. Or maybe we want to talk about marketing with different smartphones or anything along those lines. This is a graduate level class, so I expect graduate level work. The bare minimum is 5 to 10 pages. I really expect more, but that's the absolute bare minimum. I also expect you to email me with your topic before week 4. Week 4 is the absolute last time you can email this for approval. You will lose 2 points if you don't email me before week 4 with approval. The reason I do this, in the past, students have said, well, I want to write about iPhones. And that's it. And I get this big, long paper that kind of meanders through how iPhones are great, and it really doesn't cover a specific topic. So this is really for me to help corral you into getting information from the book and meeting that with what information system you choose. Again, this is incredibly open, and I want it to be that way. I want you to really pick a topic that you enjoy and apply that to something you learn from the book that really excites you. I want this to be an enjoyable experience for both of us. So that kind of covers this video. Again, welcome to the class. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me.